So when you're solving equations using the quadratic formula, sometimes you want to look at the whole situation before you get started. And one way you can do that is to look at this part here. It's called the discriminant. And this part determines a lot about the final answer of the equation. There's three situations that could happen here with that number. It could be positive. It could be 0. It could be negative. And based on one of those three answers, the nature of the roots of the whole equation take on different perspectives. If this is positive, then you get two real roots. You get two real roots. Now, they might not be nice roots. They could be irrational or rational, but they're both real. If you get 0 in here, you get just what's called a double root, or you get one answer which is called a double root for the quadratic equation. Quadratic equations usually have two answers, so the two answers are the same answer, or one double root. Now, you can also get the situation where this part is a negative number, and when that happens, you get two imaginary roots. They're not real, and sometimes a question will ask you to solve an equation and find the real answers. When that happens, you can just disregard the negative roots. You don't even have to finish that part of the equation. So, if you do the discriminant first and know that you have negative, you're done, and you don't have any further to go in a certain problem. So, it's nice to be able to think about that and then determine how far you want to go when you solve a problem. Now, let me show you what I mean here. So let's take this example here. X squared minus 4x plus 13 equals 0. And you're supposed to solve that. But before you do, why don't you look at what the discriminant is first. So, A is 1, B is negative 4, and C is 13. I'm going to do the discriminant first. So I'm going to do minus 4 squared minus 4 times A times C. So, what do I get here when I do that? 4 squared is 16 minus 4 times 13, 52. Negative 36. So, what do I know about that? It's negative. That means I have two imaginary answers. So if I was solving a problem and it said find two reals, I'd stop right there. Let's take another one. Suppose I have something like this. X squared plus 7/3 x plus 2/3 equals 0. Well, using B is 7/3 and C is 2/3 is a little bit messy. So before you determine your A, B, and C in this one, how about clearing of fractions? Remember what to multiply by? In this case, 3. So, let's rewrite this as 3x squared plus 7x plus 2 equals 3 times 0 is 0. Remember, when you multiply by 3, you have to multiply every single part by 3, including this side over here. Alright, so now, A is 3, B is 7, C is 2. So, what's our discriminant? B squared. So, that's 49 minus 4 times A times C. 4 times 3 is 12, times 2 is 24. So 49, take away 24 is 25. So our discriminant is 25. What does that tell us? Well, it's positive. Is it positive, 0, or negative? That one's positive. So how many roots do I have? Two real roots. Worth solving. That one. All right, let's do one more. Suppose I had this equation here. I'll write it over here. X squared plus 4 root 2x minus 8. What's the A? 1. What's the B? Ooh, tricky, tricky. I hope you said 4 root 2, and the C is negative 8. So let's do B squared again. So 4 root 2 squared minus 4 times A times C. This part's easy. We're going to have plus 32. When I square this, I get 16 times 2, 32. 32 plus 32, 64. And then I look at it and I determine one of three things. Positive, 0, or negative. It's positive. How many roots? 2. They could be rational, they could be irrational. So that's how you're going to be using the discriminant in the next problem set. Good luck.